Hello everyone. Today I'll be answering 3 frequently asked questions that I get all the time. The first one being, which camera am I using? The second one being, which film do I use? And the third one being, where do I go to get my film processed, developed, and scanned? The easiest way to get into film is a point and shoot camera. The least difficult and the most simplest way to take a picture. All you have to do is turn it on, frame your subject, and push the shutter. And lucky for you, you have flash capabilities. To start off, I'll be starting with my main camera, which is an Infinity Twin from Olympus, and it has a 35mm and also a 75mm. And my second camera here is my Trip 50 by Olympus as well, and it's a 28mm. Now you don't have to go with Olympus, they were just on Mercari and they were super cheap, like $5. And you can also find these cameras on eBay, Mercari, or wherever you fancy. And I guess you can just look up point and shoot. It's probably your best bet, just to go point and shoot. For the second question, where do I get my film? I used to get my film on Amazon and eBay, and for some reason right now, film is just extremely expensive. So lucky me that I stocked up before this big price gouge. But you typically want to be spending around $7 to $8, I guess, for a 400 ISO film, and I'll get into what types of different films there are. Now there are a bunch of different companies and they all have their specialties, I guess you want to say. So for instance, there is Kodak, which is more, I want to say, on the red side, more warm. And I have my favorite, which is Fuji, and it's more green, and I love green, as you can see my beanie. What I really want to get into is the ISO, the big 100 number. So to dumb it down, there's 100, 200, 160, 400, yada yada yada. Basically all you have to know is the lower the number, such as 100, meaning it's less sensitive to light. So let's say it's a super bright sunny day, you're going to want 100. But if you're going to do, I guess, all around, a 400, which is what I shoot, is very universal because you can pretty much shoot at daytime when it's super sunny or cloudy, or at nighttime when there's nothing. And then there's also 800, so the higher the number means it's super sensitive to light, which is more for nighttime, I guess you want to say dark situations. And question number 3 being, where do I get my film developed, scanned, and etc. So lucky for me, I'm located where I have a few shops near me locally. There's one in Whittier called Vance Photo, there's one in Brea, and there's also one... Yeah, the other one is called 19-Minute Photo Lab off of Norwalk Boulevard in Artesia. And since this is kind of like a dying breed of a service, you kind of have to look around and see where you can go. I'm not sure if CVS really does it anymore, you might get lucky. Costco doesn't really do it anymore. Like I said, it's very rare to find stuff, or rare to find places to get it developed. And I take it home to scan. So I get my negatives back and I put it here in my scanner, and then I scan it the way I want it to come out. Now if you don't have a scanner, that's no problem. Most of these camera places offer scanning and developing for either you to pick up on a USB drive or a CD or whatever fancy media way you want to do it. You can give them your email and they can email it to you. And this also goes for storing your finished rolls or even your not finished rolls. Basically you want to keep your film in a refrigerator or somewhere cold. Freezer is also acceptable, but I would totally recommend the fridge. Film is sensitive to light and warmth, so what can happen is your film can get destroyed, or you can get some weird lines and colors on film that isn't stored properly. I hope this gave you a better idea of how to get into film. Shooting with the real thing is a lot different than putting on a filter, and I guess that sums up everything. Don't ask me if I use a filter. Counter-terrorists win.